Hi, everybody. For this tech talk, I've asked Ian to join us to see some of the tools within Blackboard, but also show us a Qualtrics poll that might help us check in with our students. So Ian, I'm thinking we're about a third of the way through our courses. And one of the things that if we haven't already done so is we should probably, I don't want to say monitor students, that's not the right word, check in with students to see how they're doing in order to check in to see their progress through the course so that we can, as instructors, perhaps make some adjustments on the fly or reach out to students and encourage them to tune into the course. So
Sure.
I'm going to ask you, could you show us two different tools in a moment as you share your screen? Could you show us, you and I were talking beforehand that the retention center might be a really good way to find out how students are moving through the course. And then we'll talk about Qualtrics. Does that work?
Sure. Absolutely. So I'm just going to share my screen with you all here so you can see I'm in my Trent. And the first tool that I want to talk about, as you mentioned, Joel, is the Retention Center. The Retention Center in Blackboard is kind of a one-page overview of all of the student activity in your course at a very, very high level. What it's great at is picking out those students who may be not signing into the course very regularly or might be missing things or not digesting some of that content. It's very easy to use and very easy to access. So you're just going to go into your course and you're going to go to the evaluation tab. This is a good time to mention that this evaluation tab has a lot more in it than just the retention center. There's course reports, there's another dashboard in there that's more tied to the grading aspect of it. So feel free to play with some of those, but the retention center I think shines out the most because it's a great graphical dashboard of student progress at a very high level or at a glance. So I'm going to click retention center. And it might take a minute to load depending on how many students are in your course. But what you see over here is a list of all of the students, and it's showing you things that it thinks you need to pay attention to about some of those students. So it'll have a little dot if, say, the student has missed a deadline. They didn't submit an assignment on time, or they scored low on a particular assignment that you've graded in Blackboard. Activity alert will tell you if they've been in the site, but they haven't actually been looking at anything, right? So sometimes people go in the site, but they don't actually check out a lot of the things that are posted there. And then access alert will show you if they haven't accessed the site at all. And you can click on any one of these and you can see why it's flagging it. But you can also send a quick email to the student right there with the notify button, or you can monitor them. Clicking the monitor tab will sort of put them in this little area over here and give you a little bit more detail. So that's a really quick way to sort of pick out those students who maybe you might want to reach out to. For a broader scope or a broader kind of check-in with your students, you can use Qualtrics, which is a survey tool that we have at the university. So again, my Trent, and this is the icon down here, the little red cube. If you click on that, it's going to bring you into Qualtrics.
Ian, can I press pause there for a second?
Sure, sure you can.
Not literally press pause, but just press pause on you. I don't have that cue in the bottom of my dashboard in my Trent. What's another way to access it?
Right, thank you. That's a really good point. You can either use the search bar up here, just type Qualtrics.
Yeah.
Or you can go under services and scroll down to IT services, and it's right there. Now, this is a good time to mention that any one of these icons that you find in the portal, if you're using them all the time, you can just click and drag them down to your toolbar and they will stay there. So once you got that all figured out, you can go into Qualtrics, it'll load up, and it will take you to a list of all the surveys that you've created. You can click create a new project up here, and it will give you some templates to start off with after it loads up, but you can just click, I like to just click create my own survey. And then we click get started over here, and it's going to take us to a survey builder, which is where we're going to go in, kind of like a Blackboard test. We're just going to go in and add all of our questions that we want. So you can do multiple choice questions, you can do matrix questions, you can do sliders, you can do heat maps if you want, all kinds of different types of questions that you can add in here, and as well as text and graphic. I think when you're dealing with student questionnaires, especially for just-in-time feedback, keeping them short and simple is usually a good idea. But this helps you kind of get that graphical front end going. When you're ready to launch your survey, just click publish and then publish again. And it will give you a link. And you can take that link and you can just pop that into an email to your students or an announcement on your Blackboard site or both. And then the students can click on that, they can fill in the survey, and you get the answers by going into the data and analysis tab, which will give you all kinds of really great graphs and word charts and all kinds of really good insights into that data that you collect. So yeah, quick little look at both those tools.
Great, Ian, that's really helpful. I just want to confirm one thing. Those answers are anonymous, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
super.
They don't have to be, but they are by default anonymous.
Okay. And then my next question would be just to confirm, I know you mentioned this, but those can be not only quantitative questions, which might not be helpful in these cases, but they can be qualitative questions. And a model that might be useful for people, of course, is the stop, start, and continue. What do you want me to stop doing, or what do you want us to start doing, and what do you want to continue doing? You don't have to use that model. That's a frequent one, but that's certainly possible in Qualtrics.
Oh, absolutely. You have an option right here for text entry. You can make it a big single line, a multi-line, even a really, really big essay box if you want, and you can collect that sort of qualitative or quantitative feedback as well. One of the things that Qualtrics does actually really well is taking that free-form text entry and highlighting commonalities that it sees in all of the reports. So it's really easy to digest the information.
I also liked your advice there, Ian, to keep it short, right? Like, be really, good general, but only a few questions might give us the best kind of feedback to move forward. Ian, I hope we can do this regularly. If not every issue, at least every few issues that we can bring or highlight some of the tools that might be helpful for instructors as they move through their courses. Thanks so much.
No problem, Joel. I'm always happy to join in. Thanks for having me.
You might regret that by the end of this, but I appreciate the offer. Okay.